who are you?
I'm Damian Lillard.
Damian Lillard, welcome to the Nardwuar show via the internet.
Via the internet.
From Vancouver, British Columbia, Canada.
From Portland, Oregon.
And right off the bat, Damian, I wanted to begin with a quote. I'm just trying to bring a chip to Portland, just like
Bill Walton did.
And I have a gift for you right here. An original Blazers record from 76, 77 that I will mail to you. That I will actually mail to you. This is a gift for you, Damian.
And I appreciate that. I think I might have a copy of that, though.
That's what I was wondering. You must have been given this by many people.
I have a copy of that.
But I was curious. You can always use another copy, right? You can always use 100%. Another copy.
100%.
And actually, I was curious, just what can you say about this record, the Portland Blazer Mania record right here? What can you say about this record right here?
I mean, I'm not sure I've heard this record. What I have heard is the Bust the Bucket thing that they did with Jerome Kersey and all those guys.
There's Bill Walton.
Bill Walton, Maurice Lucas. Harry Glickman, rest in peace, Harry Glickman, just passed away recently.
Do you think you ever will redo Blazer Mania? Hopefully you'll win, but make another record, with a team record, an official Portland Trail Blazers record?
If we win it all, I'm pretty sure I can get the team to do it.
Damian, Patterson Park, that is very important, isn't it?
Patterson Park?
You once worked out in a polo shirt?
Where are you getting this information from?
Well, you're Damian Lillard. We have to know.
I've done a lot of things. I have worked out in a polo shirt. And Patterson Park, located where? Where would this Patterson Park be?
Well, really close to the Oakland Sports Center. Did it close really at 9:30 p.m.? The Oakland Sports Center, did it close at 9:30?
The Oakland Sports Center.
Like you worked out so hard that when did they close? You must have known the closing time was 9:30.
Where I worked out at, which was the rec center in my neighborhood, usually when I was a kid, they would close around 6. Like a 6 p.m. close.
So when did you get in there? Right after school?
So I would get out of school at 3 o'clock, catch the bus home. And then when I caught the bus home, I had to do my homework sometimes. Sometimes I'd sneak out of there, get to the rec, and I knew the guy who ran the gym. His name was Mike Tatman. And it would close at 6. And sometimes he would, stay a few hours later and just let me shoot around. Sometimes he would work me out. But I guess it pays to know people.
Anti-Vans, anti-Clydes.
Auntie Van is my mom's second oldest sister. And my Auntie Clyde is right after her. And my Auntie Clyde, one of her sons, Chef K. James Cuisine on Instagram, is my chef. And he's a certified chef, by the way, one of the best. And her other son, my cousin Chris, is a handyman. And he also lives in the Portland area. And then my Auntie Van, her son, Jonathan, Dodo Farms, has his own farm. And then her son, Brookfield Deuce, is an artist on my label. So you got some good information on that one.
What a connection, Damian Lillard. What candy did you sell for the Oakland Rebels? Because a lot of times you'd have to sell candy. What was the candy? Was it good candy? Did you eat it ever?
I sold Seeds candy. So our AAU team, obviously it costs to travel and be in these tournaments and get uniforms, have vans for the team to ride around in on the road, hotel rooms and stuff like that, food. So we had to, do a whole lot of fundraising, and part of our fundraising was selling Seeds candy. So
What about Coach Mass's training system? That helped you overcome a sprained ankle?
Yeah, Coach Mass was he was a wizard, man. I had never really done much plyometrics and detailed strength training that consistently. And my senior year, we was in the first round of the playoffs, and I rolled my ankle really bad. In the first play of the game, I went up for a dunk, and I dunked it, and I came down and I landed on somebody's foot. So I missed the rest of the first quarter, missed the second quarter, and the whole time he was just working on my ankle. It was really swollen, and he just was taking his thumb, and he was just, it was almost like too painful. Like, it was just too painful. My eyes was watering. Long story short, I came back the third quarter. It still hurt, but he made it to the point where I felt like the pressure and the pain enough to where I could tolerate being out there, even though I wasn't 100%. We came back, won the first round. I was even more hurt after the game just from playing on it. And then the next game, I ended up playing, and I felt pretty good, but he brought me back for sure from that ankle injury.
Thank you, Coach Mass.
Thank you, Coach Mass. And his son was on the team too, Mariano.
Nardwuar Campbell, you had a pact with him to finish college, get a degree?
Yeah, we all had a thing. Nardwuar Campbell, Jake Green, Philip Taylor. Those are three of my closest friends in the world. We played together in high school, and then when we went off to college, that was part of our deal. We're gonna finish it. We're not just gonna be one of those kids from Oakland that go away and can't handle how tough it is being away from home and not finish school and bounce back and end up back home. And we all honor that.
We grind together and we
shine together.
And I have a gift for you, an Akeem the Dream record. And this record is for you. I will mail this to you, but let's take a close look.
You got a lot of gifts for me today, man.
I will mail them to you. And let's look at that record a bit closer. What can you say about this gentleman right here, the unbeatable Dream?
I think one thing I could say about the Dream is people don't talk about him as much as they should, or you would expect them to, based on how great of a player he was. His skill set was, I think, ahead of his time. I don't think there's no big men, especially at that time, that were like him. And I think his game fits. At that time, obviously, he was an MVP and a champion, but I think it fits now too, with his ability to shoot the ball, how skilled he was in the paint, how great he was defensively, how well he moved. So that's, I don't really think there's nothing else I can say about him. A lot of players to this day still, reach out to him and try to go get some time with him, to footwork and their skill set in the post. So, I think that says it all about him.
And that's him singing. He only sings 27 words, but I'm going to send you that record. The band on that track is actually Hurt and Bad, but he actually sings 27 words. And if you notice, he has his own shoes there, doesn't he?
He got his own joints on. It seemed like a lot of those shoes were similar. Like, even those kind of look like Patrick Ewing shoes from back then.
And also, if we go along, we can see the unbeatable Dream. We have this record right here, basketball's best kept secret.
Those are the Oakland dudes, right?
Yeah, from 1994. Look at all the Oakland dudes on this particular record. Jason Kidd, who you actually played with, didn't you? You played with him.
I played against Jay Kidd my rookie year. B. Shaw was a head coach when I came into the league for Denver. He was an assistant coach in Indiana. Then he got the head coach job in Denver. GP, me and him got the same agent, so I met GP before I was even drafted. I knew a lot about J.R. Ryder because he's from Oakland too. I remember when Chris Mills played for Golden State, and obviously 3D, I developed a relationship with Dennis Scott too. But I actually, so the summer that I was in Oakland training to get ready for the draft, I was, I spent a lot of time with my agent. and I would be in a car with him. You know, we'd go to San Francisco to eat lunch or go do some shopping or whatever it was. And he would be like, I'll be telling him how I do music, and I'd be rapping and stuff. And he was like, let me play something for you. So for a couple of days, he was playing this Best Kept Secret album for me. And I was like, man, I want to be a part of something like that. Like it was tight.
Oh, so you've heard this record then?
Yeah.
You've heard Jason Kidd. I love the track, What the Kid Did.
What the Kid Did. I've definitely heard that.
Basketball's best kept secret, where basketball and hip hop collide. Also, there's actually a Cedric Sabalos vinyl that comes with that.
I mean, Cedric Sabalos was deep into it too. So.
And he actually won the dunk contest blindfolded in like 1992. But you won a dunk contest too in 2008?
I won the dunk contest. Wow. You do your homework. I almost forgot. I won the dunk contest, the high school dunk contest in 2008 at Chabot College. And it was a terrible dunk contest, but I still won.
And we also
I actually won 2 dunk contests now that I think about it. You know what the second one was?
Was it before or after?
It was after.
But the year after.
Nope. I got you. You didn't have that information.
And you are Damian
Lillard.
And Damian, recently you were involved in a protest and you wore a Malcolm X shirt.
Yeah, it wasn't Malcolm X's actual face on it. It was just his glasses. It was an X. So it was like a symbol of him, I guess. But it wasn't actually Malcolm X. It was definitely a Malcolm X themed shirt, though. I got it from the museum in Memphis, you know, at the Lorraine Hotel where Martin Luther King was assassinated. In their shop, I actually got it there.
Well, I have a gift for you right here that I'm going to send you, a Malcolm X record right here, a 3-disc set, and it's got a 12-page booklet in it as well. And actually,
is it an audio book?
He's put up many audiobooks, but this is actually some of his speeches. I thought maybe you could sample this.
Oh, that's tight.
This is a gift for you, Damian.
I appreciate that, man. I'll be looking forward to that.
Who are these gentlemen right here? The Jungle Boys.
Those are not the Jungle Boys, man. So, okay, let's see. Right here in the front is me, obviously. To the right of me in the picture, to the left, if you're looking at it, that's DG. This is okay. So let me go back. This is from a trip that I took after my freshman year of college. I flew to Cape Girardeau, Missouri, where my brother was about to graduate his last year in college. He was a football player. And I was there like a week before the graduation because I wanted to go out there and experience like his college experience with him. And so this was one of the nights we was there. So you see me, and you see to my right in the blue hat, he's from San Diego, as you can see on his hat. That's DG, one of my brother's good friends. To the left, to my left with the black hat backwards is my older brother, Houston. Right behind him with the chain around his neck with the white shirt with the blue writing on it is Marvin, one of my brother's good friends. Back like right to the left of Marvin's head, like leaning out to the side with his head kind of tilted back. That's Q. He's actually lives in Florida now. He comes to the games in Orlando when I play out there. To the left of my brother holding the football, that's Salim. He's actually an NFL coach now. But this is just a picture from my trip when I was there, just hanging out with everybody, all these football players that my brother hung out with. So, yeah, man, that was it.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Damian, quote, because I could sell raid to a bug, I'm a hustler. I can sell salt to a
slug.
to a slug, and I have a gift for you right here, a Cassidy record with instrumental. This is important to Damian, isn't it? This is important to you, isn't it?
So we got the I'm a Hustler instrumental?
Yes, it's got instrumental on here. I'm going to mail it to you.
Man, I really appreciate the homework that you did on this one, man, because that's crazy. For you to know that I used to rap to that instrumental, you had to do some digging.
What can you tell people about Cassidy and instrumental?
What I can tell people about Cassidy is Cassidy comes from he's from Philly, and he represents that battle rap culture with punchlines and bars, and being from the hood and representing the streets and stuff like that. And a lot of times those artists don't go mainstream and make hit records and be commercially successful. So for me, he was like the first that I saw actually do that, from that area, from that wave. He went commercial and had hit records. He had I'm a Hustler. He had Was Me and You, It Don't Get No Better. He had Hotel. I mean, he had some hit records, and that's not common for people that have that battle rap background. He had a great run.
And I was curious, what was the first local Oakland rap that you saw? Who was the first rap group that you actually saw perform in a concert?
The first Oakland rapper that I saw perform in a concert.
Was it your cousins? They aren't from Oakland.
First person I seen perform, it was probably my cousin, Brookfield Deuce, because he was rapping when I was much younger. I saw him perform, but the other outside of my family, I would say Keep the Sneak, because it's a song. It was like a mainstream hit. It was with E40, Keep the Sneak. It was called Tell Me When to Go, and it kind of blew up the hyphy movement. That's what they called it, the hyphy movement in the Bay Area, which was like probably the best era for the Bay Area in music. And when they shot that video, Tell Me When to Go, I was on my way home from school on a bus, and they were shooting it outside of Ben's Burgers. And it was like a sideshow, people doing donuts. It was like a party outside on the main street. And I got off the bus and I was walking home, and I just walked by there, and I was basically like right at the video shoot. And it was like a live performance. They was like performing scenes to the video and stuff like that. So I would say that was my first up close look at one of those things. And I was I feel like I was in like the 8th or 9th grade when that happened.
Dame Dollar, what about doing layup lines in high school to your own music? You did that, didn't you?
Yeah, so my sophomore year, only 1 year I went to this private school, St. Joe's, Notre Dame. That's where Jason Kidd went to high school. And it just didn't work out. I didn't really fit with the private school culture, I guess. And the basketball program, I didn't really fit with that coach either. I to this day, I still felt like he just had something against me. You know what I'm saying? So I ended up transferring from there, and I went to Oakland High. When I got to Oakland High, I was playing with my friends, the ones I named earlier, Dondrell Campbell, Drake Green, PJ Taylor. And basically, before the school year started, one of the assistant coaches had a studio in his house, and he let us come over, and we recorded a song. And we came out to warm up to our own song. So then after that, we made a new one for our senior year and came out to our own song again. So we basically recorded our own music for the layup lines, and that's what we warmed up to.
Was it your vocals?
Yeah. We recorded to original beats, they were our beats. 1 second.
Thank you, Damian, for valuing me so important you hung up on that person.
And that was probably somebody calling my gate. Whatever it is, it can wait. But so we recorded our own music, and it was original beats. Our assistant coach made beats. He had his studio, so we basically recorded our own stuff and came out to our own music.
Damian, quote, she just said, I'm Bay. I hit the...
She just said, I'm bad. I hit the thizzle dance.
And I have a gift for you, a Mac Dre bobblehead. I'm going to send this to you, an actual Mac Dre bobblehead. And I wanted to take a closer look at this bobblehead. What can you say, Damian, about the Mac Dre and this bobblehead?
First of all, it looks exactly like Mac Dre. But the head moving, that's funny. It's funny because Mac Dre had he had a crazy era. Like, he was the first artist that I grew up on that had people just like jumped on his movement. Like, they was dancing like him, they was rapping like him. If you played his music, people was doing everything that he did. It was like he had a Verizon network of followers, like people that just loved his style and his energy and his, like, the character he was as an artist. You know, it was like a movement, like the whole Thiz dance, Thiz team, Thiz Nation is what they was calling it. Like, people were like religiously supporting his movement.
Right now, we see Mac Dre doing a bobblehead thing, but also I'm going to give you a Mac Dre temporary tattoo.
Thiz Nation.
A temporary
water tattoos that you got to put water on it and rub it on and stick on you.
Yeah, I thought maybe like for your warm up in Oakland or whatever, you could wear that and rip it off if you want. It's a temporary. You could put it on yourself, couldn't you?
They'd kill me. They'd kill me on Twitter.
The Mac Dre temporary tattoo and the bobblehead as well for.
Yeah, that's a major gift right there. I appreciate that.
I was also curious. The Brooklyn Nets gave this out one night. What do you think about that?
I love it, man. I'm a huge Biggie fan. Gone way too soon. I think his style was way ahead of his time. Like, his flow, his delivery, his swag. I think his swag, delivery, and flow and style. I think everything about Biggie could have stood up in today's time to where he could have been a star from then to now.
Do you collect any of that stuff? Like, for instance, they were giving this out at game day. Do you ever like sit in the locker room and go, oh, damn, grab me one of those? That's pretty cool giveaway, isn't it?
I mean, in this situation, if we played them that night, I definitely would have tried to get one of these. Like the game we played against the Lakers after Kobe Bryant's death, rest in peace, Kobe. They had, shirts on every seat. And I told a few people, like, make sure I get a shirt. I want one of those shirts to remember this night and remember Kobe and being a part of this. So just stuff like that. But not often do I even know what the giveaway is for the game. If I knew about this, I definitely would have been collecting.
There's a Dame 6 doll, isn't there? There was a doll. You had a doll.
Yeah, I carried it into a game with me.
That's pretty. It's only one of those dolls. Like, how can I get that doll?
It's actually two of them.
And where are you?
My son has one.
And what do you think about the various Dame dolls that are out there? Like, for instance, like there's a Todd McFarlane one. There's a Funko one. There's quite a few dolls of you.
I mean, I would love to have at least one of each, but that's just me.
When they do a doll of you, do they even give you one? Like, they don't give you a doll. They can just make a doll?
Man, you'd be surprised. Like, I've had stuff done of me and been a part of stuff that was made on my behalf where I didn't get a copy of some stuff. But I'm definitely going to be looking for that on the back end, where I want my copy of everything that I was ever a part of, so I can, stash it away.
And I was curious, what do you think about this doll right here, the Shaq doll?
Shaq in Orlando was a beast, man. I love them pinstripe uniforms too, but you can tell how far the action figure game has grown from that time to now.
And you're going to have a song with Shaq coming up?
Yeah, we recorded something together during the quarantine, but I feel like, I might have missed the window to drop it, so we'll see.
I wanted right here, Damian, to ask you about this fellow right here. What can you tell the people about this fellow right here?
Man, what you know about Cool Nuts, man?
DJ Cool Nuts. He does a show with your best friend, CJ.
Yep, they do a show. But me and Cool Nuts, we've developed a relationship of our own. Actually, the first time I met him was through CJ because I went and did the radio show. And he does a lot for the hip hop community in Portland. He does the radio show. He's an active artist. You know, I just did a song with him called "Tapping Out" for his most recent album. But more so than anything, you know, it's just the respect, you know, that we reciprocate between one another is the thing that I appreciate about him the most. You know, he's an OG in Portland that's tapped into the music and tapped into the city of Portland and the Black community. So, you know, he knows that he can get in touch with me. I know I can get in touch with him, you know, and we share that same respect. So, you know, he's just a real straight up and down dude, solid. You know, I got a lot of respect for him. Shout out Cool Nuts.
And he's right there with me with Krayshawn, who is from Oakland. Oakland represent.
One big room.
And right now, I've given you a couple gifts, but I thought here is a gift right now for CJ, because CJ loves Marvin Gaye, doesn't he?
Yes, he does. I heard it through the grapevine.
And CJ McCollum, he has his own wine now? Does he have his own wine?
His own wine. I can't even get a bottle.
And there we have some more Marvin Gaye. But I also thought I wanted to give you some stuff, the new shoes from Portland, Oregon, who are one of the most sampled bands ever. And they're from Portland. Do you have this record at all?
Don't have it at all, but I'm definitely going to take it up off your hands.
They were sampled by Bismarck Key, Jedi Mind Tricks, a whole bunch of people, like 1985 from Portland. The new shoes, but from Portland, home of Cool Nuts.
That's what's up, man.
And I will, Damian, send those records to you via mail. One to give to CJ and some new shoes for you to sample right here.
I'm not giving CJ that Marvin Gaye. I'm keeping
it. Boom. Quote, Damian, oil in my system trying to gas up the
tank.
The tank. That is a win video. You were just downtown for that video shoot? Like you just happened to be downtown? How did that happen?
So me and Wynn are really cool friends. Like she know I've supported her music career for years now. I like her style. I like who she is as a person. You know, I think she's gonna be a star. You know, as a rapper, as an artist. Period. And basically, we had been talking about doing some music together for a while. And then she was like, you know, if I can get you on this, it's like a cipher for like the OGs in Portland, the up and coming people. You know, it'd be good to have you be a part of the record. I want you to do the last verse. And I was like, all right, cool, send it to me. She sent it to me, and I was in the studio one day just knocking stuff out, and I was like, I told the engineer, I was like, you know what? I'm gonna text you this song right now. I'm gonna do this for my girl Wynn. And he set it up. I just, you know, wrote the verse. I started recording it. And I sent it back to her, and she was like, well, you know, no pressure, but if you want to do the video too, we're going to do the video on this day, Pioneer Square, blah, blah, blah. And she told me this way in advance. So like time went by and I kind of just forgot about it. And the day that she was shooting the video, my boy wanted me to go downtown with him to this day party. And I wasn't driving, but I just got in the car with him and we was down there at the day party. And the day party is, you know, still going, but I was like, I'm not gonna stay here till it's finished. So I was leaving, and which was like in the downtown area almost. I was leaving, and I get a text like, you know, we started the video. If you got some time and you around, come by. And I was literally maybe 10 minutes from there. And I was like, take me by this video shoot right quick. So they took me over there, and or actually they took me to my car, and then I drove to the video shoot. And I pulled up right to the shoot. Like I parked my car right inside Pioneer Square. And she had like a bunch of people out there. She had the lighting, she had the cameraman, she had everything set up. And I just walked up. It was like, just stand right here. When she get to the end of her verse, you just walk in. And I didn't even know my verse by heart. I just started remembering it as we kept shooting different like cuts. And shot the video. We finished it. I got the car and left. So it wasn't even like she did another video shoot where she just rapped about me in one of the scenes. And she was like, can you show up and just be in the video and whatever, you know? And I was like, cool. And I just randomly showed up to this restaurant. It was empty. And she was like in the back in the parking lot. And I was in her video. I mean, so we've been cool, man. So it was tight to be able to do that video.
Mike Capes, the last Artful Dodger, DJ OG1.
Yes, sir. Mike Capes. Mike Capes might be the best. Mike Capes might be the best rapper in Portland, to me. Me included. I think Mike Capes is the best. And DJ OG1, you know, is, you know, the most respected. Just because, you know, every hip hop event, anything that's going on in this area, that's who the DJ is usually going to be. He's the Trailblazers DJ. And that's my boy too. Right as the quarantine, you know, kicked in, they had everybody quarantined. I was trying to set up my studio in my house. So I'm in like my basement pulling all this equipment that I got from JBL. And I'm trying to put a studio together by myself. And I finally get everything together. And I need the last piece to go into the to set up my headphones. But I didn't have the right cord. So I'm like, who can I call that I can get this cord from? So I'm calling, and I finally think, like, oh, OG1, I'm sure he got it set up at his house. And he had the right cord, and he actually drove like 30 minutes from his house to my house to bring it to me. And then I went to go try to do it. And once I did it, I was like, dang, this is like, I needed a different size. So I hit him like, do you have this size? And he was like, yeah, I'll bring it back to you. But I'm like, I'm not gonna have him. That's basically turned into a 2-hour trip both ways. So I was like, you know what, I'm gonna come to your house and get it. So I ended up getting in the car, going to his house, and I got the cord, brought it back. It was the right one. And now since then, I've been recording all my music in my house. So OG1, he the man. That's my guy.
Also, Amine from Portland. Amine.
Yes, sir. I mean, Amine, probably the biggest artist right now from Portland. He had the hit Caroline. That is still getting blasted, you know, still getting radio. But I actually have met him a few times, and I just got announced as a 2K21 cover athlete yesterday. And he was one of the first people to congratulate me. You know what I'm saying? Like, appreciate everything you do for the city and, you know, just showing love. You know, and he's a big-time artist, so he didn't have to take the time to do that, but he did. So I think that says a lot about him as well.
Brookfield Discount Liquor, the Turf Fiends.
Brookfield Discount Liquor, that's the liquor store in my neighborhood I grew up in, and it's also a hangout spot. Legendary. You come into the neighborhood, that's the liquor store you see. When you pull out the neighborhood, that's the liquor store you see. And you see people out there posted 100% of the time. You know, 4 a.m. they out there, 4 p.m. they out there. So legendary post up spot. The Turf Fiends is like, you know, a legendary at this point group of dancers. You know, they turf dance, they do stuff that most people can't do with their shoulders and arms all out of socket. The way they move is just different. And, you know, when I was in middle school and high school, they the people that everybody tried to dance like. And now you see them in G-Eazy videos. They've been in one of my videos. You just see them in people's videos. Kehlani, you see them in, you know, getting respect for their style of dance.
Damian, winding up here, Famous Dave's.
Famous Dave's, you own something with that. Famous Dave's is like, to this day, that's one of my spots. That's something that is near and dear to my heart. They hurt my feelings at one point. They got rid of the Sweetwater catfish, and that was my go-to every single time. But somebody else must have felt the same way. That was an important customer because they brought it back a few years ago, and my hiatus ended when they brought it back. So,
Damian, I have another gift for you. MC Sway and DJ King Tech. Damian, what can you say about MC Sway and DJ King Tech?
what Sway is that? Is that Sway in the morning Sway?
Yes, exactly. The Sway that you freestyled on. The Sway that went to your high school.
That's old. Look at the cut. That's crazy.
That is
Sway is a Oakland legend, man. I think right here you're seeing his start, even with the hat. He stayed true to that. So obviously everybody knows him. Sway in the morning. But I know Sway just from being from Oakland. Him always being around in the neighborhoods and trying to do stuff to big up Oakland. Giving the Oakland artists an opportunity. And I think the start that Sway had up until now, how he just kind of went through so many different rooms, I guess, and he had a tough route to get to the position that he's in now, which that position he's in now allows him to, provide opportunity for, the up and coming artists and shine a light on the up and coming from our city. I think it's a big deal, man. So everything that I do, Sway supports it. Anytime I want to come on the show, bring somebody on the show, anytime I need him to show love to something or shout something out or be a part of something or use his voice, always available. Picnics, I do my neighborhood picnics, 100%. So shout out Sway, man, real Oakland.
What about this gentleman right here? Too Short.
Too Short, that's my homie too. Like I know Short personally too. Too Short grew up, around that time where my dad was like also looking out. My dad knew Too Short. A lot of my dad's friends, my uncles, they know Short. So when I see Short in Vegas, we always show each other love, say what's up, we kick it. He's an Oakland legend too in the music. So if you think about Oakland and, you think about who's from Oakland and names and stuff like that, Too Short name automatically gonna come up.
1985. That is a really old Too Short number there. Don't Stop Rapping, Too Short. Are you going to possibly do something with Too Short?
Basically, that's crazy. They got the song, they got the instrumental on there. That's funny. Me and Too Short was in the studio together like 3 years ago trying to work on something. And we didn't even end up like getting all the way through with everything, but I'm sure we're going to have something done soon for sure.
And winding up here, Damian, I was curious, the Grizzlies are your first game back. You're playing the Grizzlies, the first game back. And I was wondering, has Sharif Abdur-Rahim told you anything about the Vancouver Grizzlies,
He's never told me nothing about it, but I think it would have been great for them to still be in Vancouver. I love Vancouver. And it would be less travel for us, when things are normal, because it's a 1 hour flight from Portland. But I love that whole era, man. Just the uniforms, the court, the city that they were in. I dug that whole era with Big Country.
Bibby.
Mike Bibby got traded for Jason Williams.
Sharif was good. Like Sharif really was good, wasn't he?
Sharif was nice there.
I remember he got like 25 a game, didn't he? Sharif, like he was amazing.
Yeah, Sharif was cold for the Grizzlies, man.
And Dame, speaking of Canada, what does Drake yell courtside? He is quite animated. What is Drake like courtside? Looking at him when you're on the actual court, looking at Drake, what is he doing? What is he yelling?
We played him a few years back. He was at the game. I actually had 50 that night at Toronto. I actually had 50 the game he was at. And I didn't even know he was there until the end of the game. So, even if he was saying something, I didn't know, because I didn't even know he was there until the game was almost over and he stood up And he was like, oh, it's like you on one tonight, Dan. And I kind of looked at him and I just kind of like trying to win a game. But that was it. You know, it wasn't really like a loud game. I think he's more like trash talking louder with like the guys that he's friends with, you know, the dudes that he got friendships with.
Have you ever played to no crowd? Have you ever played when there's nobody in the audience? You ever done a game?
I mean, not nobody, but I played where it was like very low attendance. Like in high school, we only had one-sided bleachers. We didn't have bleachers on both sides because our school wasn't funded, so we couldn't have two-sided bleachers. We only had one side. And then my last year, we had two sides, but people had to sit on one side. And then, other than that, when I went to college, I went to a small school. So some of the schools didn't have great programs, and they also played in gyms that were like the size of a high school gym. So, you know, sometimes we would play in a gym where it was, you know, I don't know, 40 people, 50 people. And I feel like that's what we're going to be playing in front of. You got 15 guys on each roster. You got referees. You got cameramen. I've heard that some players that are on campus will be able to go to some of the games. So, I mean, I feel like it'd be similar to that.
Have you seen the UK soccer that has no crowd? You know, they play games, no crowd.
I've seen video, and it's weird, man. I watch a lot of boxing. I watch UFC, and the fights that I've seen lately is like they literally fighting in a ballroom with a ring or a cage or whatever. So it's like, it's weird, but I think that's even less weird than what we'll have because we'll be playing in a big space that's empty. You know, they aren't going to the MGM to fight and it's just empty. They're going into just a smaller place that's intimate. They got the ring and they do what they got to do. But for us, it's going to be like we in an arena and it's just going to be no people in it.
Unfortunately, there will be no Craig Sager. Shout out to Craig Sager. Rest in peace. What do you remember about Craig Sager?
I remember he wore wild clothes. The night I got drafted, I came to the back. You go through the whole gauntlet of interviews and all this stuff. And he was one of the last people that I interviewed with, or one of the first people that I interviewed with. He was like, you know, you're wearing red and black. Did you know you were going to Portland? Because it looks like it. And I was like, honestly, I didn't know, man. And we just kind of went back and forth about that. And I always think about that because, you know, I've obviously watched NBA since I was a kid, and you see Craig Sager, you see the players getting on him about what he's wearing. And that was my first time meeting him, and he carried it on like we already knew each other, you know, like, man, I think you knew. Look at your clothes, look at the colors you're wearing. You got on red and black. So, you know, rest in peace, Craig Sager.
Dame, do you have a favorite Stephen A. Smith meme?
My favorite Stephen A. Smith meme is it's a meme of him. He got a cowboy hat on, and it's like a crowd of people on both sides of him, and he just like strutting. He like doing this little walk with a dip, and he walking between the people. And I forget what he was doing. I think he won a bet or something. But that meme is so funny to me. And then it's another one where he like, get off the weed. The weed.
Damian, I will mail all the records to you, so I have to get your address. But that is the Sway record right there that I will mail to you.
Bobbleheads too, man.
Anything else you'd like to add to the people out there at all, Damian?
I want to challenge people, you know, to continue to push the movement forward, you know, as far as racial injustices. And if you are somebody that's not Black and you're around people that's, you know, using the N-word or speaking in a racist way and doing something that you know is not right, correct them. You know, even in private, correct them. Because that's something that definitely needs to change. You know, the respect for Black people and how you see Black people, you know, as an equal. And I think behind closed doors is where a lot of work needs to be done. And it's people who represent the right things that are around people who don't, you know, see things the way they should. And we need to start challenging people to take that stance, you know, be willing to do something that's not popular, even if it's amongst your friends or your family or whatever, you know, kind of check them on that and call them out on it, make those situations uncomfortable for them so they know that it's not right. And if they really love you, they'll respect what you're saying. So I want to challenge people to do that. And also challenge, you know, us as Black people to do less hating on each other, show each other more love and support, care about each other more, and let's help each other out and push each other's, you know, whatever it is that we're doing. If it's a clothing line or if it's some music, whatever, let's be more supportive of each other. And I appreciate you for having me, man.
Well, thanks so much, Dame. Keep on rocking in a free world and do.
Do.
Yeah.